Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Louise Hobart begins now.
27-year-old man has been arrested after weapons and drugs were seized at a property east of Launceston. Police say uniformed officers and Northern Drug Investigation Services attended the property on Saturday afternoon. They allegedly found a shortened pump-action shotgun, a loaded semi-automatic pistol and ammunition, along with MDMA, methamphetamine and prescription medications. Close to $5,000 in cash was also seized. The man was expected to face court today. Launceston's Cataract Gorge marched to the beat of Mona Phoma's drums as renowned percussionist Chloe Kim continued a marathon performance as part of the festival. She's aiming to complete 100 hours of drumming in 10 days, playing at her kit for 10 hours a day.
Good, I can start feeling a little bit of soreness in my arms, but at times I would take nice and slowly and at times I would go hard, so I've been balancing those, yeah.
The fun continues tonight with sessions at the Old TAFE. And in breaking news, the Jack Jumpers NBL season is over, going down to the New Zealand Breakers just minutes ago in Game 3 of their NBL semi-final series. Tasmania started hot in the first term before the Breakers reeled them to lead at half-time. Despite a surge in the third quarter, the Jack Jumpers couldn't get close, the Breakers eventually winning 92-77. We'll have all the highlights of the match later in sport. Tasmanian landowners who live near vineyards are asked to be mindful when they conduct routine burn-offs in the next few weeks. Due to cooler weather conditions, the ripening of this year's vintage has been delayed, with most vineyards harvesting 2 weeks later. Smoke exposure can cause grapes to lose their flavour.
We really need to do everything we can to make sure that we are protecting this industry as best as we can.
Sometimes it takes only a few hours for those crops to have the smoke taint absorbed. They're like a little sponge.
More information can be found on Wine Tasmania's website. Autumn might be just 10 days away, but Tasmania is set for a burst of summer next weekend. The Bureau of Meteorology says a band of hot air will arrive by Thursday. Heat pockets are expected to develop, with the Bureau saying they could issue the first fire warning of the summer. Sweltering temperatures are forecast across most of the state.
Basically, everywhere in Tasmania is looking at low 30s, potentially mid to high 30s inland by the end of the week.
And we'll have the full weather forecast with Victoria Easto later in the bulletin. Tasmanians have herded into Kempton for its annual agricultural festival. Crowds of hundreds lapping up the beloved rural traditions, with sheep racing high on everyone's agenda.
A quaint Midlands town alive with action.
It's got a great history, and you know there's some great families here who work their, butts off to make this festival happen.
The annual Kempton Festival, a fun day out for the whole family.
It's actually a lot bigger than I expected, but yeah, it's lovely weather and there's lots of great stalls around.
Have a look at trying the food, the kids' rides and everything like that, and have a good day with them.
Those with strong stomachs took to the rides.
We were going so fast that Logan, my brother, was squishing me.
While line dancing and barrel racing were safer options for attendees hoping to keep 2 feet on the ground.
Get set, go! And away they go.
Around 1,400 people packing out the showgrounds by midday, including the Labor Party.
These shows, they showcase agricultural produce, local arts and crafts, and they just get people out and about to support the local community.
The opposition leader keeping a close eye on the fan favourite sheep racing championships.
I'm a proud sponsor of a sheep that's running in the race today. It's called You Beauty, and I really hope it gets up. I haven't had much luck in the past in the sheep racing, unlike Brian Mitchell, who did win one year.
A prized rural tradition with no signs of stopping. Brianna Boylan, 7 Tasmania News.
Strong crowds have returned to a well-loved Hobart Italian festival after a 2-year COVID-imposed hiatus. Festa Italia transforming the streets into a cultural paradise with traditional entertainment and exquisite food and drink on offer. The state government supporting the event with $12,000 each year to keep the festival flourishing well into the future. The Deloraine car show has roared back to life for the first time in 3 years. Lovers of vintage wheels rolled into the main street of town as hundreds of rare vehicles packed the tarmac.
Ford fan Shane wears his love for his GT on his sleeve.
It's a 1968 XT GT Falcon, original. I've had it for 32 years.
He's rebuilt his pride and joy and is showing it off at Deloraine Car Show for the first time. It's just one of more than 450 cars packing the town's main drag.
All the colour of the old cars and everyone's got a smile on their face, it's great.
Up to 8,000 car nuts have been drawn to the event's return.
You know, the last couple of years we haven't been able to have it because of COVID, so it's good to be able to give it back to the people.
Showing no vehicle newer than 1988 and many much earlier. The old rivalry was everywhere to be seen. Ford versus the General.
I like the Mustangs here and the Camaros, but the muscle is my favourite stuff.
British Minis also making their mark. And above all that, a ride fit for a king. This 1960 Cadillac Coupe de Ville weighs 2 tonnes and cost $5,200 when it was new.
I enjoy looking at them, but I couldn't tell you what they were.
From hot rods to hot dogs, it seems the Deloraine Car Show has something for everyone. Organisers say what makes this event so popular is that it's right in the middle of town. If cars aren't your thing, you can catch a band or have a drink at the pub.
The shop's open on the side. What else can the ladies do? And then the blokes look at the cars. You can't ask much better than that.
You know, it's really great to be able to give people the opportunity to have a great day and look at the weather. It's fantastic, isn't it?
Annie Green, 7 Tasmania News.
Meanwhile, Deloraine was also playing host to around 200 stud goats for this year's summer show. There was no kidding around at the event, with veteran judge Paul Ormsby flying in for the occasion to adjudicate the boar goat division.
We look for conformation, we look for type, we look for colour faults and feet and leg faults, and try and put all those in a perspective that makes it the best animal.
5 exhibitors across 4 divisions strutted their stuff during the show. Some of the animals seemed prouder of their achievements than others. Some of the country's most talented veteran swimmers have spent the weekend in a Hobart pool. More than 80 athletes have competed in Masters Swimming Tasmania's Long Course Summer Championship. Each athlete swims in 5 events in their age group, collecting points in each race. Aged from mid-20s to late 80s, competitors say it's a fun and safe way to stay fit.
It's a low-impact sport, really. You know, you can get good exercise and not worry about, your knees going or your shoulders.
Certainly people are trying to get good times so that they can get good lanes in the national events coming up.
The National Championships will be held in Hobart in April. As you heard earlier, Tasmania is out of the NBL Finals Series, losing to the Breakers 92-77. New Zealand's tall timber was too big and too powerful, while 32 points from Barry Brown Jr. helped sink the Jackies' season.
Win or go home. That was the scenario for both teams. In hostile territory, Tasmania went to work early to silence the crowd.
McDonald another one. Rips the net on the back-to-back triple. Timeout, Motimore. Jack Jumpers with a tier 2 lead.
Doyle and co lethal from the arc early on. The Jackies racing to a double-digit lead. Rob Lowe and Barry Brown Jr. leading a New Zealand fight back. The margin just 4 at quarter time. The Breakers finding their feet in the second quarter.
Barry Brown Jr. gives it to Pardon. Pardon, and what another one for Derek Pardon.
Milton Doyle doing his best to keep Tasmania in the game. The Jackies, however, were losing their offensive sting. The Breakers' defensive blanket smothering them. A 28-17 point second term, giving New Zealand a handy half-time lead.
2.5 seconds difference to end this half. The upper on the drive off the glass and down.
The tall timber of Pardon and Brantley were giving the Jack Jumpers nightmares in the key. Turnovers also a killer, with Tasmania suddenly looking out of ideas as the home side's lead continued to grow.
Pardon comes up high. Brown shoots it. Look at the fight. Barry Brown Jr. feeling it.
But Tasmania's renowned fighting spirit shone through when they looked lost. A late momentum swing, reducing the margin to just 3. Suddenly, it was game on.
White attacking here. Oh, Isaac White making something out of nothing on Isaiah Liafa.
A 7-0 start to the final quarter, easing New Zealand's nerves. Every basket mattered, with the fans riding all the ebbs and flows. Brown Jr.'s silky skills had the Breakers within touching distance of a win.
Brown Jr. 3-ball.
The crowd finding their voice and going into party mode, with the tricks rolling out.
McDowell-White puts it up for Derek Pardon, and that might just do it for the Breakers.
Season over for Tasmania. The Breakers set for a clash with the Kings. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Good evening. A warm day for Hobart today, reaching 30 degrees. 24 for Launceston, Burnie and Devonport, both 23. Friendly Beaches topped 30, 29 for Ouse and Grove, St Helens 26, 22 for King and Flinders Island, Strawn 21. Clear skies across large parts of the state today, with some cloud over the south and west. And it's been another clear day for the southern half of the mainland, with the north facing some isolated thunderstorms and a cold front is heading towards Tasmania. Tomorrow, a cold front will cross the state in the morning, with a high moving to the south of the Bight and another towards New Zealand. West to northwesterly winds of 10 to 20 knots, reaching up to 30 knots about the far south, and large swells for the west and south tomorrow, likely to range from 5 to 7 metres. A strong wind warning has been issued for the upper and southeast coast, as well as the southwest coast. Showers are likely across the south tomorrow. Hobart and Dover both 19, 22 for Ouse. Partly cloudy for the north. Launceston 27, Devonport 24, 26 the top for Scottsdale. Partly cloudy and 23 for Burnie. Showers clearly in Strawn, Stanley 25. A late shower or two for St Helens. Swansea 23 with some showers developing, 24 for Ross. And the UV will remain at a very high 9. Fine and mostly sunny on Tuesday, apart from a few light morning showers for the northeast and southwest. Fine conditions will continue on Wednesday, partly cloudy across most of the state, and things will begin to warm up come Thursday with mostly fine conditions, apart from a few light showers in the northwest, 28 for Strawn and Hobart. A shower or two for Brisbane and Cairns tomorrow, Sydney 30, partly cloudy in Melbourne, Adelaide, sunny 34 the top for Perth. Right now in Hobart it's 25, Launceston and Devonport both 22. So it looks like parts of the state are in for some slightly cooler temperatures over the next few days before a nice warmer end to summer.
Bit of a roller coaster week. Thank you for that, Vic. That's all your news for now. Thank you for joining us tonight. Kim Miller will be back in the chair tomorrow night, but from the weekend team, it's good night.